Hello and welcome to Jamie's Motion Graphics, episode 60. Today we're making this. This is a very simple blur effect, but it can be used for titles and such, and well, basically has many applications. So enjoy. Okay, here we are in After Effects. I'm going to do it a little bit differently today. I'm going to explain the effect first, and then if you're no longer interested in, well, seeing the specifics of how it's made, I'm not going to, well, force you to watch that first. So basically, I'm just going to show you the effect, show you how to create the end result, and then we're going to actually build the effect. The effect actually looks like this. Well, not like this. But this is how it forms, and then later on, yeah, this is how it actually plays. So this is in real time. The first step is the render step, and then this is how it is in real time. And obviously this is way too slow. But I want to just show you what the effect is. So basically I took a layer of every one of these letters. Let me show you one letter only. Here you go. So, and then it just becomes the T. So it is a stretch effect that's over it. You can see it here in Effect Controls. Directional Blur in 0 degrees, which means up and down. And then the blur length is going to be 600 in the beginning. And there you can see it. And it's going to fade in first, so the opacity is going to change. And then once it hits 100%, it starts coming together and becomes a letter. So I offset all of the letters by 1 second, and that is just, well, for this specific setup, it seems to be the right number because, well, as you can see, it's about halfway done when the next one shows up, and that way you get a nice flow. So this is the effect, but then we want to to anti-text layers. Don't just disregard that. Whatever. Then we go to this part, and this is where it actually becomes interesting. We have different setups here time-wise. So if you right-click time and then go to stretch time, this one's at 50%, which means it's twice as fast as the original. So the original 30 seconds, this one's 15 seconds. Pretty easy to understand. This one's 1/3, 25%, 20%, and 10%. And I will just show you these because these are a lot quicker and therefore different types of effects. So this is the actual speed, by the way, which is not very fast yet. So we're going to go to the next one. And depending on what you're trying to make, any of these effects could actually work. So this is the final effect on this one. So then this one's going to be even faster. And then the next one is, I guess, well, I actually liked this one. So the 20%, I also liked the 10%. So this is fast enough for me. And the 10% is kind of when you want to make kind of an intro of a title sequence of a movie or something like that. Like when the names come up, you can fade them in like this, and then you can fade them out afterwards. And of course, fading out works the same as fading in. So here, this is a lot faster. This is actually really fast. And yeah, because of that, you actually have less time of the effect itself, but you do get the benefits of the effect, which is that you don't have to plop in text straight on the screen. And well, anyway, that's all I wanted to show you for now. Now we're going to build the effect from scratch. So let's do new composition. I'm going to just call it comp 3. It's going to be 30 seconds long, and for the rest, yeah, kind of the standard stuff. I'm going to select well, just text, and I'm going to type something, I don't know, just let's do text again. It's a nice word to use these things. Yeah, the size, of course, you can alter that by just changing the, well, the setting here. It's fairly easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to create this thing to do the effect on its own, then split it up in 4 different letters, and then move the letters relative to each other. First of all, let's get the effect. So yeah, I already said what it was called, but you normally just type in blur, you get all the types of blur that there are. We're going to use directional blur. You can of course use one of the others as well. I used Directional Blur in the previous one. I might as well use Gaussian Blur this time. I'm going to put it on my text layer, and yeah, let's see how it actually does. So this one is a different type of blur, and what we want is we want something like 500, I guess. So really vague, and then we're going to use this, add times 0, hit U on a layer, and we're going to go to, let's zoom in a little bit because this is kind of boring. Or, well, not boring, but hard to see. Wow, that's completely well, completely something else. Whatever. I'm going to take 2 seconds to unblur it. So I'm going to put it to 0 right there. And then I'm going to use the opacity on this layer, so T, to get it in here in 1 second. So let's put it to 100% here, 0% here. This should be it. So if we hit U now, you can see that these two overlap and the effect looks like this. So whoop, there it is. So if you don't like it, because here, when your effect's almost done, that's where the text finally becomes visible. So let's say we want this part to be further forward. So that's, well, it kind of is, well, better to read. You can just make a keyframe here, drag it forward, and then that keyframe will mean that, yeah, you kind of get the first part very quickly, and then the rest is very slow. So I'm not going to do that, but I'm just saying you can do it like that. So what we're going to do now that we have the effect, is we're going to copy it 4 times. Control D. So 4 times. So there are actually, well, 6 layers here. And, sorry, 5 layers. 1 more than we actually need. So just hit U on this guy, go to all the way in the end, and just shut off everything. So now this bottom one will stay text, so it will just keep being just the name. On the other ones, we're going to turn off the Gaussian blur because it's annoying to work with. So we're going to just turn it off. You don't actually have to, I guess. You can work without or with it on, but I just like to not have the delay. So we're going to go to our bottom layer and delete the last 3 letters, and then go to this, drag it forward, hold shift, and then just put it into position. You can use the arrow keys to position it correctly. Then the next one is going to be the E. So delete the X and the T, also delete the first T, and then just drag it into place, hold shift once you're close, and then use the arrow keys to get it into its correct position. This one, of course, is going to be the X, and there you go. Yeah, it's fairly straightforward, which is also why I wanted to try out this new way of showing you how things are done by first showing you the effect. And yeah, well, once you get well, the understanding of how things are made, you don't actually have to see this anymore. That's why I kind of do this in this way. So the T is in its place. Now all we need to do is check whether it all works, turn off this layer, turn on the Gaussian blurs again. Yeah, you didn't have to turn them off. The thing is, it is a little bit slower with them on because it has to calculate a lot and blah blah blah. Here, it still works exactly the same. Well, actually, let me show it like this. So it first has to calculate everything. This is the first step, and then it's playing it in real time, which is actually a big advantage compared to what we normally see. But this is real time, so it is going to be a little bit slow. It's going to be faster than I expected, but yeah, that's fine. The problem is that it resets your zoom on this. Don't know why. Maybe in the new versions it doesn't actually do that. So we can now delete the final layer or just turn it off. I just turned it off. It's good enough. Anyhow, just take the top 3 layers and move them forward, for example, 1 second. It doesn't have to be 1 second, it can be half a second. You can make it whatever you want. And yeah, you can do this like perfectly. I think it's already pretty perfect. And now you have to see whether the timing is actually correct, because here, for now, this doesn't seem correct. The first letter is completed before the second letter is actually visible here. The second letter is still all the way invisible, and I really didn't want that. So let's move it forward, make it like 15, and make the next one into 1 second. Oh, deselect this. Deselecting and selecting one layer is done by Control. So you just hit the Control and then you click the layer that you want to select or deselect. So basically now we get the T, and hopefully the E will be half visible. Yeah, this is better. So you get more of a flow this way. It can actually be done even faster, but I think this is fine. So yeah, this is the entire effect. So now all we need to do is make a new composition, whatever, and put composition 3 into composition 4. Just right click, go to time, say time stretch, and let's say we want it 50% faster. So let's now see what it looks like. Zooming here is done with the mouse wheel, and this is what it now looks like, which seems like a good speed. Of course, if you don't agree with it, if you're like, no, I want it faster, just go back to the time stretch and just make it into 25. Then it goes, well, to 7.15 seconds instead of 30. And we're going to hit the 0 again. As a keypad 0, by the way. So yeah, that's what it looks like now. It's fast, it's nice, and of course you can tint it if you want to, or, well, not so much tint, but give it a color if you want to. But yeah, let's use tint. Might as well, because it's all the way white. So if we just give the white into some other color, then it should become a nice color. There you go. So depending on your background, of course, you can give it a different color. And if you're like, no, I want something better than that, you can go with the curves, and you can go and play with the curves a little bit until you find that color that you're actually looking for. And maybe, I don't know, I don't even think this does anything at this point. I think because yeah, we made the black into black. We should have done it in gray, I guess. Then it would have been better. But if you change your main color to gray, so this would be gray, then you can actually use the curves a little bit better. Of course, if you want to have something fancy like multiple colors, you need to have multiple grayscales in this. And I didn't do that, so I'm not going to, well, I'm going to be able to use the curves. You can see that they do something, but they're not going to be as effective as they can sometimes be. So sometimes in my things I make like very nice text effects, or, well, color effects, accidentally by getting the curves in the right shape. And that's the way curves work. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about it. It's a fairly easy effect, and you can definitely use it for very many things. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.